Welcome to our next number video. This is our last series of videos, and in these videos we're going to look at an idea called standard form. Standard form, or in other countries or other parts of New Zealand people call it scientific notation, is a compact way of writing numbers, and it's very useful for writing very large or very small numbers. Take this number here. 2,395,000,000. We're going to write it into standard form, which looks like this. Right, well, there's a couple of key things we need to know. First of all, we need to place a decimal point between the first two digits, always between the first two digits. And secondly, the power represents how many times we multiply it by 10. And we'll explain this shortly. Right, well, let's take a look at another number, this number here, 1,764,000. This is written in standard form like this, and we're going to show you how we do this. First of all, let's just get rid of the commas. Right, what we're going to do, we know for a start that the decimal point is at the end of the number. We're going to pretend it's at the start between the first two digits. So we always put the decimal point between the first two digits. So we're going to write 1.764. Now we don't write any zeros at the end because they are not significant. So we only write 1.764. Now, when we move the decimal point once, we multiply it by 10. Move it twice, multiply it by 10. Move it again, multiply by 10, move it again, multiply by 10, move it again, multiply by 10, and finally we multiply it by 10 to get it to it really where it should be. So you can see now we've got 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 to the power of 6. Now, here's another way people like to think of this. They know that we're going to pretend the decimal point is between the first two decimals, and they just count how many times we have to get it to the end. So let's count once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and that's why we write it as 10 to the power of 6. Right, well, let's look at this example. The sun has an average distance of 149,597,900,000 meters away from the Earth. We're going to change this number into standard form. So let's write down the number without any commas, and let's put the decimal point at the beginning where we pretend it's going to be between the first two digits. Right, we're going to move it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times to get it to the end where it should be. We moved it 11 times to the right. So we're going to write it as 1.495979. We don't need to write any of the zeros at the end. And because we moved it 11 times to the right, we're going to go multiply this by 10 to the power of 11. Right, let's look at example 2. A light year is the distance it takes for light to travel in 1 year. A light year is measured to be 9.4605284 times 10 to the power of 15 meters. We're going to change this back to an ordinary number. So let's write down 9.4605284 times 10 to the power of 15. And we're going to work out what this looks like as an ordinary normal number. So we'll write down 9.4605284, and we're going to move the decimal point because we're going to multiply it by 10 every time we move it 15 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we've got nowhere left to move it, so we start adding zeros. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let's count up in groups of 3, and we end up with commas with this number here, which is 9,428,528,400,000,000 meters. Right, thanks very much for watching.